Jayco just dropped a new luxury series floor plan, and it might be the best in this series. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Jayco today, and I'm cheesing for a reason. I like that. I'll probably end up saying that more often in my videos. Anyway, what they did here is they took their most popular pinnacle, the 38 FB RK. It's a front bath and a half with a mega rear living kitchen. And basically they said, copy and paste that kitchen living room, but just don't make it a bath and a half. It's not quite as big, not quite as heavy, not quite as expensive, but I feel pretty much still equally awesome. And last year, I feel like North Point really finally caught its stride. They finally went wide body. They finally started offering full body paint packages, and I feel North Point is finally on the level of like many of the other luxury fifth wheels that were out there. I felt like they were always holding themselves back for a little bit, and they finally said, I think I can, and they did. And this thing is amazing. It gives you huge open windows, living space, tons and tons of window coverage. Of course, that Jayco 2+3 year warranty, the 6-point hydraulic leveling system, plus the individually controlled slide options that not every RV with hydraulic setups will offer you. This also has extra things like the Dexter tow assist system, which is both anti-lock braking and electronic anti-sway. So this big sucker is definitely, I personally feel, going to be an awesome destination RV. But I know that there's plenty of traveling, like full-time RVer type people. Those extra towing functions are things that Jayco does very, very well. North Point has been doing the heavier H-rated radials, the better suspension packages and pin boxes for years, and they just continue to improve on that regard. Overall, I really like this. I think my biggest problem is I don't know which one I like better, this or the Pinnacle. So as we go through here, do me a favor, leave me some notes, let me know what you think of this thing, and if you appreciate how we get you down here to check out all the new stuff, hit that subscribe button, and let's go. And I would love to hear some maybe first impressions. What are you thinking about the updated decor that we're looking at right here? Jayco was really the one that kind of popularized the farmhouse decor. And man, it's still out there heavily in the RV industry. But I think some people are ready for a change. And I think Jayco is kind of recognizing that. And it's not like they went completely insane with this, but it gives it, I think, a very classy, kind of upscale executive sort of look. It is just a tinge darker because pretty much everything is going to be darker than a stark white decor. But overall, I like the look of it. Now, again, this living room is essentially the same living room and kitchen in terms of layout, slightly different equipment, but the same living room and kitchen layout that you might find in a Pinnacle 38 FBRK. There's just a number of people who don't care about a bath and a half model. And if they can save a few bucks not getting a bath and a half model, this is going to work for them. You've obviously got the just huge campsite window coverage, and this is a big old mega slide. Because if you notice, you have that dining table, the desk, and a pantry, and a refrigerator all located in this thing. It is, and the slide out itself is very tall. It's like approaching 7 foot tall. Now, that little carpet square, you don't have to have that there. That's kind of there to protect the flooring for travel purposes. We will close the slide in road mode later, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I also want to point out how even this little desk area has solid surface counter space. They're just very, very good and consistent about that. Even the bathroom in this, like a lot of fifth wheels have solid surface kitchen counters, but not everywhere through the RV. They're just very consistent here. In case you're kind of wondering, what the breeze is in here, because obviously you're feeling that. That's this thing up here. And one of the other options that we're looking at today, this RV that we're looking at has almost every option on it, is the third air conditioner right here. Now, air conditioners 1 and 2 are whisper ducted. That third 15,000 BTU air is not a whisper ducted unit. Those have to pretty much be pre-installed that way from the factory to accomplish that goal. I love these giant wraparound sectional style sofas. I love these because, like, I'm a big long dude. Some days when I'm sitting on the couch, I just kind of want to lay down and like turn on The Curse of Oak Island and take a nap or something. I don't know what it is. Like, if I need to sleep, I'll turn on some like nature documentary or something like that, and maybe it's just the dulcet tones of Sir David Attenborough kind of put me out a little bit. You know, he's like, and here we have a refrigerator in its natural habitat. And I'm just like, yes, David Attenborough. Tell me more, Sir David Attenborough. And then I'm like, and that's pretty much how that goes. The cabinetry is not quite as shiny as a Pinnacle. Like some people are going to, this is going to be a good floor plan to see what are the North Point and Pinnacle differences. They're more same than not. The construction is the same. It's just trim packages. Basically, North Point will rival nearly any luxury fifth wheel on the market today. And then Pinnacle is a rare example of something that goes above and beyond yet another level. And most manufacturers don't make something quite on the level of a Pinnacle. Now, every manufacturer is going to argue that. It's a bit of a subjective claim that I just winged out there. And there's the tricky thing is there is not a linear pecking order of RVs and fifth wheels in the world. Like they all have different positives, negatives, advantages, drawbacks, etc. All of those things. I tell you what, I want to go, let's start going through the living room in hard detail and then the kitchen in hard detail because we have a ton to cover. One of the things that I like here is, you know, it's like the TV is mounted up a little bit, but not all the way up to the ceiling. And especially with as large as that smart TV is, I think it makes for some pretty respectable viewing. And I haven't opened that up yet. I think there might be some serious storage behind it. I need to verify. But check, again, the opposing super slide breeze windows. Some people are happy if you get this level of window coverage on one side of the RV, and this RV has it on both sides of the RV. It's pretty crazy overall. And now that I said something, I'm kind of curious, and I want to kind of break away from the living room furniture and say, like, what's behind door number one? So it turns out that's nowhere near as deep as I thought, which in a way is good because I don't think you'd have been able to reach anything if it was as deep as I thought. But I also appreciate how they don't waste space. So what's behind the panel inside of there? Basically the bathroom and a bunch of the plumbing. This is your smart command system in here, in case you were curious. And the remote controls for that ceiling fan you can see zipping around above us. The converter down here, very intelligently located so that if you have a fuse blown while the slides are closed, you can still get to it. And down below that, easy to miss, that's actually your central vac system down there. Now, not every wraparound lounge like this opens up into a gigantic sleeper. Some do not open up into any sleeper whatsoever. So I wanted to actually take the extra time to showcase that for you and wrestle everything around. Now, I'm not trying to demonstrate this as like, you could use the hide-a-bed sofa as like a thing for the ottoman. It's just, I wanted to show you that there's storage under the ottoman. North Point came out with this last year. If you need just space for two of you, this is fine. But if you need a little more, well, it can give a whole lot more. What's nice about this, it extends out very far. But because we have that wide body and the way that dining table extension is directly across from that sofa in the L shape of the sofa, you can still pretty easily navigate through and walk around the camper. And 4 adults can very comfortably sit there. A lot of RV dining won't actually fit 4 adults very comfortably. The little desk space here, if you want to pull this out and add a little more, flat top desk area, you can. Notice how everything is all soft closed drawers as well. The power outlets that are over there in that corner, they are inverter prepped. And actually, they're not just inverter prepped, they're powered by an inverter because by default, you have this GE residential fridge with like ice maker and water dispenser over here in your North Point and Pinnacles among the Jayco lineup. It's like 21 cubic foot of space or something huge like that. It actually requires an inverter if you want to be able to run it going down the road. So these Jaycos come with an inverter, factory standard, essentially. Now down here, I like the fact that they added drawers at the bottom of that and that these shelves are adjustable and removable. On its own, in an RV this size, though, that feels like a slightly, maybe small refrigerator, I'm looking at a fridge, sorry, a pantry. Good news, you have another pantry over here with adjustable and or removable shelving. So if there's one thing this RV doesn't have enough of, I don't think it's pantry space. I think you got plenty. And again, including things like the water dispenser and the ice maker, a lot of RV fridges have gone away from that. And this is a resi fridge, yes. It is also shock rated. So it is functional for an RV application. Now, if I swing you around awful slowly here, I don't normally try to record kitchen stuff while being in the actual kitchen itself, and I don't use a wide angle lens, so I am aware that we are right up and close and personal with this stuff, but they use all the space they can. They really don't waste anything back here. That is a 1.7 cubic foot residential size air fryer, convection, microwave. So electric, oven, microwave combo, but you still have a big 4-burner stovetop down here along with a dedicated propane oven. So again, North Point is not made for just that casual weekend camper. For the people that are going to spend a lot of time in here, they are outfitted for that. Yes, sorry that I left the refrigerator door open too long and it's yelling at me. There, geez. I was going to get to it eventually. It's like all those home improvement projects my wife is asking me about. She doesn't have to keep nagging me every other year until I get to them. I'm going to get to them. Jayco does a lot of this drawer in a drawer stuff. I don't know. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Soft close, by the way. Is the drawer in a drawer really useful? Pinnacle, North Point owners, have you found a lot of benefit in that? Look at this, what they did in this corner, though. That L-shaped, the corner of that kitchen is really hard to get to anything. So they actually basically installed a Lazy Susan in it so that you can make the stuff come to you. I think little details like that are smart, and it makes me wonder why more manufacturers don't do something similar. Is there a thing I'm not understanding that you wouldn't like about it? Or it could just be one of those RV industry things where somebody doesn't want to spend an extra $12 to include a feature like that. I don't know. Maybe there is nothing wrong with it. I'm not sure. The cabinetry, again, all hidden hinges, magnet holdbacks, soft close, whatchamacallits, drawers. There we go. Now, in a Pinnacle, the double drawers directly below the sink would actually be a dishwasher. North Point will be like dishwasher prepped, whereas Pinnacles will actually include a factory standard dishwasher. So that maybe that kind of helps you understand a few of the differences. It's a trim package difference. It's not a quality, it's not a build construction difference. Then right here, obviously you see the double trash can pull out down below. Some people maybe like to sort trash versus recycling, or just you want more trash space. This is a removable cutting board insert, but this is either the handle, or if you're using this for veggie prep, you just sweep the veggies down into the garbage below, which I think is pretty smart. Now, if I'm looking, technically, there might be a chunk of space under that countertop area that's hard to potentially access, but I don't know what a better way around that would possibly be. I think they've just done the best that they could here. And in case you are curious, if you look above all the indirect lighting above the slides and whatnot, this does have a very aggressively barreled ceiling. That's a Jayco North Point Pinnacle kind of thing that you won't find among the Eagles and whatnot. That's just in the Big Daddy kind of Jayco fifth wheels, or Big Mama, I suppose, big person. Now back to where a little adventure began. We're on the stairs, sliding backwards, heading to the bathroom. Let's look down over here to the right. Porcelain foot flush stool. Something confused me a great deal about this RV. It's wide body, yet it was fairly tight on the right-hand wall. I'm not exactly sure what might have caused that. Maybe it's just because, it's because they have a gigantic shower. That's why. I kind of forgot about that. All right, well, hey, mystery solved. Moving on from there, you see the dedicated linen space back here. A lot of it. A lot of big dedicated linen space. And threw my hat in there in the top section to kind of give you a size reference. The headroom in the shower is also excellent. You will not be scraping your scalp in this thing whatsoever. I do want to point out too, your Pinnacles and North Points do include the larger bathroom vent fan. Blows me away how many, quote, luxury fifth wheels don't do something like that. When something as simple as a Cherokee Wolf Pup single axle stick and tin trailer finds a way, I don't know. I don't think there's really excuses. You see this fold down seat over there in the shower, by the way. And again, we do still have solid surface countertops here in the bathroom. And this is going to be some odd looking footage for a second. But if you draw your eyes over the left side of the screen right about meow, you might notice a toilet paper roller, or the butt napkin roller, that's actually built on the back side, no pun intended, of the vanity cabinet door below the sink right there. But they also are really good about, including great drawer space. By the way, I did not talk about this in the kitchen. I am sorry. If you notice, Jayco is dovetailing the drawers of all of their luxury series fifth wheels, basically, and they're doing it in house. They're not outsourcing that. There are some other dovetailed brands out there. Some might be doing similarly. I know for a fact some are not. So it's just when it's done in house, it allows them, instead of pointing fingers between suppliers, they just basically get to walk over to Gary, who builds the cabinets, and be like, Gary, stop doing it bad. And he's like, okay. There's just accountability included with it. One thing you haven't seen so far is heat ducting in the floor. And yes, I understand the irony that I'm pointing at the ceiling because my brain was transitioning into the whisper ducted bedroom air. And I realized we already talked about that. So I tried to segue halfway through and I failed. Jayco came up with a new heat ducting system. The heat plenum, the heat run, is still in the floor. The floor is still going to be a little warmer to the touch, but they came up with a new heat system that gets the vents out of the floor without losing massive chunks of efficiency. You're probably going to be pretty hard pressed to find a North Point or a Pinnacle in stock somewhere with the queen bed. The king's pretty much going to be what everyone's going to stock at almost every dealership, I would assume. All the windows open for airflow around the bed, even the Cyclops window above the bed, which is an area very few manufacturers will treat that way. I think it was last year, North Point redesigned their bedroom closet, and I personally feel like they absolutely crushed it and nailed it. And they recently adopted a small version of this into the Eagle series that is just a little bit more narrow, but does the same thing. First of all, they gave us more space to walk around the bed. Now, the other side of the bed's not quite as deep, but this side of the bed is absolutely awesome. The other thing here is if you think about most fifth wheel front closets, the bottom section is just open air. It's kind of like wasted space. And North Point went, that's stupid. Let's do something with it. So they maximized the dresser storage, included a handy little laundry hamper, which is very useful. That's one of those things, like people sometimes ask me, why do I spend so much time talking about laundry hampers and waste baskets? Because every single day I wear clothes. And I don't tend to wear the same clothes 2 days in a row. So I want a place to put yesterday's clothes now that it's today. And not every RV gives me a spot to do that. So I appreciate the Jayco is, you may have noticed the motion lighting there in those front closets. Tons, because we have an extra deep bedroom slide, we have tons and tons of room down here. All of the lower indirect lighting, by the way, is kind of hooked together through the RV. So you can flick one switch and have a nighttime navigation route without necessarily needing to, flip on every light individually through the RV. And then one switch turns them all back off, kind of like that little motion sensitive light just turned itself off over there in the closet. They did something here, like I try to be fair, and it's an opinion, it's subjective. They did something I don't really care for. They made this, instead of like 4 drawers, just 2 gigantic drawers. They're wide enough that they kind of, if you're not really careful, you really have to use 2 hands to open them. And I'm not saying that if you're not careful, they're going to break. They just kind of get bound up and they wobble a little bit funny. And it's just, I don't know. It's not my favorite. Maybe it actually allows for more storage. I don't know. Conceptually, I don't think I like it. I'll also tell you, I haven't actually tried it. So I could be dead wrong. I don't know. Now, if I describe the access and function of this RV with the slides closed as limited, I think that's, putting it lightly. But at the same time, I don't really know of any front living room fifth wheel that is really built for having awesome travel access. Not one with this many slides. Maybe one with fewer slides can get away with something. But you can get to the freezer. You can, I guess, get to the bed to throw a duffel bag on it. You can get to the half bath. So if it's an emergency potty stop, you got it. And that's pretty much it. It is not the longest road mode section I've ever put together. But if you appreciate how, even if it's not super awesome, we still take the time to showcase this for you, drop us a little thanks on the video or subscribe if you're new, and know that we'll do this for you basically every time I have the opportunity. And I'm going to give you the abbreviated highlights of this thing. Like, if we truly talked about every single thing that this North Point has to offer, we could be here for 2 hours. And If you need all that information, call our local team. I'm trying to give you an idea of if this might be the right one for you. The right one, baby. Like Ray Charles used to say about Diet Pepsi. The when it comes to tow vehicles, I don't think anyone's going to argue too much. I feel pretty strongly you're pretty much in dually country here. We are looking at one of 4 possible exteriors on this. There's the base non-paint exterior. Then they have 3 different paint packages. Cousin Garrett, RV Nerd video editor, could you try to lop some visual samples of those maybe off the Jayco website over there on the left side of the screen? And folks viewing at home, nothing is the same as actually seeing this in person. But let me ask you, what base or paint package would you prefer? Understanding obviously the paint packages run a chunk of money. You see the optional slide awnings available right here. It's a Schwintek upper deck bedroom slide. Your lower deck slides are rack and pinion. As we work our way around here, keep an eye on the propane tanks. You're going to see 3 40-pound propane tanks on this RV. It has literally twice the propane capacity of pretty much any other luxury fifth wheel standard. That's kind of a monster deal. You have the option of generator prepping this RV, which is what we're looking at today. There also is a full generator install option, so you have a lot of different choices. I will say the camera's reading this funny. It must be the room and the lighting. It looks slightly like gunmetal blue. It's really just it's a gray on gray color palette. When I back up, now it looks kind of black. The camera's just acting funny. I don't know what else to tell you, folks. So you might have noticed 2 40-pound propane tanks on the other side, a single one over here. Optional basement TV. It actually just kind of slides in and slides out right there. I think that slot is there whether you option the TV or not. You see your little central vacuum point out here, so easy to clean out the pass-through as well. This is one of the anti-gravity stable steps where when you go to fold it up, you don't got to blow your rotator cuff to do it. They also are very good about skirt mounting the outside speakers so you don't have gigantic holes in the side of your RV, potentially asking for water intrusion. Now, this is a big rig, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I can't get the whole thing in frame walking sideways next to it. It's just a big rig. One of the very few differences between North Points and Pinnacles, actually there's a Pinnacle there in the distance. That's this one's sister floor plan, actually, but Pinnacles have a full rear cap that kind of looks like a Class A diesel pusher. North Points are made to look like they do, but it actually is a laminated wall. But man, especially with that paint package, it really provides that appearance, doesn't it? And despite the size of this thing, North Point's whole game plan is what features are out there. Great, I'll try to do all of them. So it still has a Class 3 receiver hitch on the back of it. This floor plan does require a second sewer outlet. However, you can see that located down there. That is for a kitchen gray water only. Your primary bathroom black and gray and washer dryer tank emptying solution would actually be located up here in front of the slide. It's just too long of an RV to try to have everything kind of squished together effectively. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm moving very fast because it's getting late in the afternoon, and basically they give me a cutoff time because they want to go home too. They're not being jerks about it. I get it. But I want to make sure I at least hit on a couple things in here, like the 3-stage water filtration system that's going to be factory standard in these. I also haven't really talked much about the running gear on this, which I think is a major thing North Point does very well. It begins with Cooper H-rated 17.5-inch or something, gigantic radial tires. The taller the tire, the fewer revolutions it makes, the less heat it creates and absorbs, the less likely it is to have a failure. Cooper tires, as far as I can tell, anything that I've ever looked up, especially in a towable RV execution, have some very good records. There's a reason a lot of your more premium fifth wheel brands out there nowadays are using them. But they also have a MORryde shock dampening suspension package with wet bolt fasteners, so you can continue to keep that lubricated and properly operational for a long-term period of ownership, because chances are you're not buying a North Point because 6 months from now you're not going to be RVing anymore. That's not usually how these come into play. There's also, of course, the MORryde pin box that goes along with that, but the Dexter Tow Assist system is something I'm a very big fan of. I think it's one of the, well, you know what? The Lippert ABS and anti-sway system is also very good. There are awesome safety features when you are towing and going. You've got tons, literally tons of weight behind you back here. It's nice to know that it's being better controlled for a safer experience. And I want to throw this out there. Since like 1997 or 77 or something like that, semi-tractor trailer drivers, professional CDL drivers, their trailers have been required to have ABS for safety reasons. But most of us took driver's training for the first, last, and only time at age 16. And in most states, that technically makes us just as qualified to haul this huge thing down the road without the safety equipment that a professionally trained driver requires. So I'm a very big fan of those safety functions. Now, the natural question, how much is this thing gonna run me? Double check the links in the video description. Anywhere that we have one of these, we'll have it listed with pricing available. But keep in mind, a base model versus one with generator and paint and big solar, it could seriously, depending on the shipping cost, it could be probably $15,000 to $20,000 different. Two, North Point 365s could be up to $20,000 different, depending on where they're located in the nation and what equipment they have. So we always keep actual pricing on our website. I will also tell you, we do have specific, it's called MAP pricing, manufacturer's adjusted pricing. There's a minimum low bottom limit to where we can actually advertise these. So our actual everyday price might be lower than we are literally allowed to display on our website. And I don't like that policy, but I want to let you know what you're looking at. At least give you an idea when you click through to our site there. And if you're curious, like, well, what's the pinnacle version of this look like? I'll leave you a link to that too. And maybe a couple other big, awesome rear kitchens that I've encountered over the last year or two, because there's a few that are really nice. I really like rear kitchen campers. I've always had a sweet spot for them. I don't know. What's your favorite type of layout? Rear kitchen, rear living, rear something else? I don't know. Until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Glamping. This is glamping. Happy glamping, everyone.